What is up, subscribers? Sunjutsu here, and today I wanted to go ahead and bring you this video sort of explaining myself in a video that I did before, but also getting to something that I kind of found out from that video, which is my top 5 possible World War I factions. Now, I made that video and I'm gonna go ahead and explain. I made that video because I wanted to go ahead and make a video on if they had ever made a total war that was taking place in World War I. These are the factions that I would most like to play. Not the best factions of all time, or not the best countries in the war, but just factions I personally wanted to play, ranked in order from least to greatest. And I mean, some people were asking why Italy was on the list, even though it was not completely immersed into the war, didn't have a huge front. They had their own front, but not a big one. And it's because I said it in the video, I like playing on the Italian peninsula. I just do. That's something I like playing as. So that's why I would like to play Italy, and that's why they would be on the list. The reason Russia and France, other countries, were not on the list is because it was only top 5. If the video was top 10, then the video, then I would have added those countries. I believe I said France would be 6. Other countries would, come along on the way. But yeah, that video, I was a little bit misunderstood. Got a lot of hate, which is something that I've also been meaning to address. I do get, a bit of dislikes. It's not a big problem. I've never actually really said anything about it up until now, and I've had this channel for years now. But when videos first drop, I get at least a minimum 3 or 4 dislikes before I get the first like, right off the bat. And that only means to me that some people have my channel or subscribed to it just to dislike videos, which is fine. But for this last video, I did get a lot of dislikes and a lot of hate, and I wanted to go ahead and explain it in a better and a more I guess thorough fashion, so you guys know where I was coming from. And I did explain a little bit on the comment section, and I commented back, but again, I wanted to do that. But I found something very interesting that leads me to this video. With that video I made, there was a lot of fighting between you guys, the subscribers and potential subscribers, in the comment section below. So you guys come from all walks of life, you guys come from all different countries, and you guys wanted to see your favorite country on there. And there was a lot of hate that your favorite countries were not on the list. But with some of the comments, there were, oh, why wasn't this country on the list? Well, on their comments, somebody would reply, well, they weren't this. And then, it would be like this thing where my country is better than yours, sort of thing, or your country wasn't as significant, or this and that, going back and forth. And I started realizing that there's a lot of nationalism-ish feelings toward some of these countries. And this is World War I. This is pretty far back. I mean, comparatively to in time, I mean, this is a little bit over 100 years ago that this happened. But I do believe that World War I is one of the major catalysts for the way things are in the world right now. Some of the good things that are in the world right now, and some of the major problems that are affecting this world. Obviously, you guys know that World War I straight led into World War II. It was caused by World War I. If there was no World War I, there would definitely be no World War II at all. So that got me to thinking, and this is an idea that I had for a while, but after seeing some of the comments on that video, I'll go ahead and link that video in the description below. You guys can go ahead and check out some of the comments. I started thinking maybe modern war is a little bit too sensitive of a topic or a game idea for Total War. Maybe that's the reason that they kind of avoided going really too far into the future. I started thinking of why, and then I started thinking of the modern-ish titles they've had so far. I'm not gonna count Fall of the Samurai because there was only really, when it comes to European wise, there really was only a couple of units that were in the game. I'm talking about full-fledged games, and I wanted to see what the reactions were, or explain what the reactions were for those games, because I played them. I'm a veteran when it comes to Total War. So we have the Empire Total War, which showcases many countries, a lot of them that are still around, a lot of them that are not still around, and a lot of them that are in the background of many people's histories. And there isn't really much fighting when it comes to that game. There isn't much this happened and this, and kind of nationalistic type feelings. There are fondness and nostalgia for being one's country. I know that for a fact because in an empire you can play as United States, and I just love it. And I know one of the comments was, nobody cares that you're from the United States. Yes, I know. Nobody cares. But I'm trying to make a point. Like, if you're from France, you want to play as France, you get that kind of nostalgic style feeling, as opposed to if you you played as a different faction. Now, what I did find in Empire was that a lot of the times when people played online, they didn't always play as the faction that was their country or their country's ancestry. It was normally the faction that was either the best at what they do or that they had the best strategy with, and the same falls into Napoleon. Napoleon was the successor to Empire, and we didn't see all these nationalistic feelings, even though Napoleon had Napoleon and it had the French Empire, and and it was much closer to this timeline than Empire was. So when it comes to that, I feel like it's not been close enough. The farther the timeline is, the less nationalistic and upset people become with the countries and trying to figure out which countries is better, and getting all riled up, I guess, getting emotional. And maybe they aren't as emotional as maybe you guys might see it from the comment section, but that's kind of how I took it a little bit. And it's not a bad thing, it's not a negative thing, but I'm wondering that maybe that's the reason that Creative Assembly hasn't really gone too far into the future, because things are too close together. Could you imagine a World War II, and despite everything else, mechanics aside, everything like that, just the concept, a World War II style game where you're playing as one of the major factions is the Nazis, and your leader is Hitler. And I mean, how would you even begin to add features to your faction, like internment camps and stuff like that, Auschwitz? So how would you even add that into the game? How it's almost too soon, you know what I'm saying? And there's other things too, like Japan. How are you gonna add the Empire of Japan when it comes to versing China? Even in World War One, that timeline, Japan was very active against China, Manchuria, Russia, and those feelings are still fresh, especially in Japanese hearts and minds when they think about the Chinese. For the most part, not everybody, but I'm not generalizing, but just from what I sense. And then it comes to the how would you even incorporate dropping 2 bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Like how would that even begin to become a feature? So the thing that I started thinking of is maybe Total War can't go too far. I mean, obviously I'm going to later on in the future make videos on what my ideas might be for a more modern Total War. I'm always up for that. I love speculating. I've leaned more into speculation when it comes to this channel, but I'm starting to think that maybe Creative Assembly, these are the reasons that Creative Assembly won't more likely go into World War II territory. Maybe the farthest it will go is World War One. That's still pretty far enough where they can there isn't just such terrible things that happened. World War II is a little bit closer, but had a huge impact on the world and different countries. So I don't know, those are just kind of my thoughts on it. This is kind of like a rambling video. More likely I will get some hate on this video. I already know right off the bat I'll get some dislikes. That's just the name of the game. That's just how it is on YouTube. I've been on here for many years, so I know how it is. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this idea that just not going with mechanics or anything like that, but just on implementing modern countries from World War One, World War II, and just closer to our era. Like, is it too sensitive of an era for them to make games out of, and mechanics and all that stuff? Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this specific topic. I do appreciate your comments. I'm not trying to say that you guys don't have to, have to like every one of my videos, don't dislike them, but I wasn't trying to say that. I was just trying to kind of bring light to some of the things on my channel, which I will do as the videos go on. I haven't done that in a very long time, but I want to make you guys aware of the state of Sanjetsu. And as loyal subscribers, thank you so much for watching. Let's even get over 50 likes for I don't know, the next historical Total War game, whatever era that might be in. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, become a subscriber today. This is going to be Sanjetsu signing off. I like to play not the best factions of all time, or not the best countries in the war, but just factions I personally wanted to play, ranked in order from least to greatest. And I mean, some people were asking why Italy was on the list, even though it was not completely immersed into the war, didn't have a huge front. They had their own front, but not a big one. And what is up, subscribers? Sanjetsu here, and today I wanted to go ahead and bring you this video sort of explaining myself in a video that I did before, but also getting to something that I kind of found out from, and is because I said it in the video, I like playing on the Italian peninsula. I just do. That's something I like playing as, so that's why I would like to play Italy, and that's why they would be on the list. The reason Russia and France, other countries, were not on the list is because it was only top 5. If the video was top 10, then the video, then I would have added those countries. I believe I said France would be 6. Other countries would, come along on the way. But yeah, that video, I was a little bit misunderstood. Got a lot of hate, which is something that I've also been meaning to address. I do get, a bit of dislikes. It's not a big problem. I've never actually really said anything about that video, which is my top 5 possible World War I factions. Now, I made that video, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain. I made that video because I wanted to go ahead and make a video on if they had ever made a Total War that was taking place in World War I. These are the factions that I would most